Hello everyone, it's Shanna. I'm so glad you're here today. Now today we're going to be using Crisscross Motif 3D Embossing Folder of the Month and Sending Sentiments, and we're going to use our Distressed Oxide Prize Ribbon, and I'll be bringing in my So Happy die, which is an older die set. I'm also going to use this blue paper. I'm going to emboss this. Now what I'm doing today is I'm actually casing a card. I don't know if you're familiar with Tina Smith from Cards and Coffee Time. I love her videos. I watch them first thing every morning with my cup of coffee, and I love them. I saw this card that she was making, and I thought, I've got similar materials. Not the same. Her stuff was newer. I'm using some older stuff for my floral design, but I thought I can make a card very similar to hers. Now she used a pattern paper that had like words in the background. I think it was on white. It was like a white panel with blue words in the background. But I'm going to be using this embossed panel here. And I'm also going to bring in my white pigment ink and my brayer. And I am going to bray over this embossed folder and just add some white to it. Now it's not real pronounced. I don't think my white is quite as bright. In fact, I actually had another white that I probably could have used that might have been even brighter. But this does the trick. It does make the embossed panel, the embossing pop up so that you can see it. And it gives it just enough brightness that I was satisfied with it. I did roll over it several times and try to ink up pretty well. And I got, enough of dimension that I was really happy with. So I'm just going to lay that aside and let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to start working on all the dies. So I'm using Spellbinder's Essential Cardstock for this, and I will link all the materials in the description box below. And I used the floral dies from that So Happy, which was a card kit of the month. I think those dies are probably still available, and I will link those up as well. And I have just cut out of this blue and the teal colored my flowers and my flower centers, and then I just used white hammer mill to die cut out my leaves, and I'm just getting these all assembled here. And I like the color palette. I think it's going to turn out really pretty. So I'm just working on getting all of this assembled and ready to put down on my card. Now I will tell you, I've been bragging on my videos about the wonderful weather we have been having in Indiana. Well, I'm here to tell you that today it has changed. It is very cold, and we have just these blustery winds that you can just hear blowing outside, and it's made it very, very cold. So we have went from, the 65, 67 degree weather to this blustery, cold winter weather, and it's not much fun. I'm a warm weather gal, and I'm not excited to have this sudden change in the weather. So if you hear my heater in the background, that's what it is, because we've gotten cold. So we're going to have to officially drag out the winter coats and get them on. Now the boys and I pretty much stayed inside today. I did have to run to the jeweler this afternoon, and my husband took and watched the youngest one while I took the oldest one with me. He actually enjoys going on car rides and enjoys going places with me. So he went with me, but that was our extent of getting out, and it was quite chilly. I made sure I warmed up the car before we left so that he would be comfortable. But that was the extent of our outings for the day. So I'm just continuing to get all this assembled, and I guess I'm decided to have you watch me do all of it. Now I'm laying it all aside because I'm gonna there's gonna be some pieces that I don't use, and just getting all that glue off my desk so that I can begin assembling my card panel. So I'm just going to use my tape runner and just lay this flat. It's got some pretty good dimension on it anyway, so I'm just going to lay it flat down on my A2 size card base, and that's just a hammer mill. I just scored it myself with my score buddy and got it ready. And then I'm going to bring in some scalloped dies that I took my second to largest one, and I cut two of them out and then I cut them not in half. I cut them a little bit longer than half. And they're going to lay in the center of my card base. And what I've got on the back there is I also took some fun foam and put on the back of it so that I could pop these up. So that's the little blue stuff. And I decided that I wanted some fast hold and some long hold, so I added some tape runner and some glue to it. And I think I'm watching a video and I'm actually commenting on it. That's what I was doing there as I'm assembling this. And I'm just going to get both of these taped and glued, and I'm going to get them laid on my panel. And this card's going to start to come together. I really like this card. When I saw it, I thought, that's a really neat card, and I really feel like I can kind of mimic it to a certain extent. Now, like I said, it's not exactly like Tina's, but it's got all the elements, and I really like how it turned out. I like the color scheme. So this, I've taken some scraps of paper and I've cut them down. I think I cut it to 1.5, maybe 1, and then maybe 1/4 inch. And I'm just layering them up. I've got that, I don't know, aqua blue, and then the darker blue, and then the white. And like I said, I will link this information in the description box below so you'll see what I'm using. And just center them all up. And then I'm going to lay that in the center of my panel. Now I realized I didn't cut it. It was 5.5 and it needed to be 4.25. So I'm just taking it off screen using my guillotine because I've got 3 strong layers there. That's all cardstock and it's pretty heavy duty. Now because I popped those up, I'm going to have to pop this up a little bit. So I just need a little bit of foam tape on the edge just so that my card will lay even and flat, and I can stick those sides down to it. So that's what I'm doing. And I couldn't get it to quite lay even on there, so I had to adjust my foam tape a little bit just to get it to lay even. And then I'll get it laid down on the card panel. So we've been eating all of our leftovers out of the refrigerator so that I can get my refrigerator ready for all the food that we're going to have in it. And I've got my sister lined up. I'm having a big Thanksgiving. I think I mentioned it on my video. I've got my sister lined up. She's coming Wednesday. We're going to have the boys, but we're going to do a bunch of cooking, so we're getting ready for that. Now, I'm going to use this new stamp and die set, and I will tell you, now that I've used it, I absolutely love it. I can see using this on a lot of things. So I'm just bringing in a piece of hammer mill and my MISTI, and I'm just going to grab the, I'm going to use the happy, the birthday, and the hello sentiments on here. And I'm just going to take that prize ribbon distressed oxide ink and stamp it up. And that color matched this cardstock very well, the Spellbinders cardstock very well. I was really, really pleased with that. It matched up quite nicely. And I didn't even rub my hand, I forgot to rub my hands across these, and they stamped beautifully. I was really pleased. When I did the first stamping, I almost thought I was just going to do it, and then I decided to go ahead and do, I think, a second stamping, because it really turned out very crisp, and I really liked it. I thought it was very pretty. So you see how good it looks, but I'm going to go in one more time and just give it another quick inking and stamp that thing down. And it really turned out nice. Now I see that I'm not completely in frame there, so I apologize for that, but look how wonderful that stamped. I was really, really pleased with that. And now I'm just bringing in those dies, and those are a little different dies than I've used from Spellbinders, just the way the cutouts are. You've got some like diamond shapes in there that are cutting out the between the L's and the P's, so they're a little bit different, and I just took a minute to make sure I really got them lined up right so that they would look really good. And it moved on me, and I had to do it again. So I've got my pink tape, and I'm just going to use that and tape these dies down so they don't move on me. Now the nice thing about this set is They even give you the strip die for all of the straight line sentiments that are in there. So a lot of times you don't get the dies for the things that are a little bit simpler to cut out, but in this set you do, and that is wonderful. So I was real pleased to have all 3 dies to cut out all 3 of these sentiments, and they worked out really, really well. So I'm just going to tape it down with my pink, I think it's called Pixie tape, and then I'll run to my die cutting machine and get these babies die cut out. Now my heater just kicked on, so you might hear that in the background, but I believe that this is going to be a birthday card for a family member that has an upcoming birthday. I just think it's really gorgeous, and I believe that's what I'm going to do with it. So I'm happy to have that. I've actually got 2 birthdays upcoming, and I made the other birthday card several videos ago, and then I made this one this evening, and I think I'm covered for the birthdays. So I really like how it turned out. So now I'm just going to lay this birthday right there on that blue strip, and I was glad that it was just slightly smaller than my blue strip. I didn't plan ahead on that. I didn't measure. Hindsight's 2020. If it had not been thin enough, I may wish that I had made that blue a little bit wider, but it actually turned out just perfect, and I was really pleased with that. So I'm going to just lay my happy on the top up there, and then once I get that situated where I want it, I'm going to bring in my hello. I thought about tilting it a little bit, and then I thought, no, I'm just going to let that top of that H just kind of hang over into the scallop. And now I'm just bringing in my hello as well. And so this is going to say happy birthday hello, like a happy birthday hello. And then I'm just going to start bringing in my floral and my leafy elements and getting them laid down. And I decided I wanted to attach my leaf to the back before I laid that down, because I was going to tuck it, and I thought, no, I'm going to lay it. And then it fell off. So then I got smart and decided to bring in my tweezers. So I mentioned running to the jeweler. You'll notice I don't have on my ring tonight because I needed to get my diamond tightened. I was cleaning it the other day and noticed it was kind of moving. And so I promptly took it off and put it in its box so that I could get it to the jeweler and have them get it tightened back up. So I'll be happy to get that back. I feel not fully dressed without my full band set there. So, but I was real fortunate to go in there, and they take good care of me, so I was glad to get that taken care of, and it was a pretty quick visit, so I was happy about that. My husband actually did some mowing. He has some customers that he mows for, and he actually did some today. He was pretty cold doing it, but he wanted to. He's real particular on yards and leaves and everything, and he just wants all of his customers to look very, very crisp. So probably maybe the last mowings that he'll do for the year now that it's finally transitioned, but he was busy today outside with that, so I imagine he'll probably be tired this evening after being out in the cold all day doing that. But so I'm just getting all these laid down, and I just kind of kept it to a 3 color scheme, and I like the simplicity of it with just using those 3 colors, and yet it's got quite a bit of detail with the embossed folder and then the die cuts that are on there, and I'm just really, really pleased with it. Now I'm going to show you the card, and thinking that I'm done with it, then I decide that I'm going to add some sparkle to it. So I bring in 3 sparkle shimmery little gems and embellish my flower centers with it. And that was another thing on Tina's card that she did. She had some embellishments right there in the center of the flowers. So I went ahead and did that as well. So while my card is not using the same elements as hers, it is very similar to her. So I was glad for the inspiration. I have some favorites that I like to watch to get inspired by, and she is definitely one of them. She's a very, I don't know if you've ever followed her, but she has the most positive, happy disposition that I really enjoy watching her, and she really creates some beautiful, beautiful cards. So I hope you like it. I was inspired by Tina Smith. Thanks for watching. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Have a great day.